Welcome to today's episode of the Women's Soccer Show. My name's Helen.
Welcome, my name's Sarah. And we have a lot to go over. Here we are. We're at the end of the group stages.
God, it's flow.
It's been fast and it's been slow.
It's fast, furious, slow at times.
And I'll just put it out there. If you listen to the previous episode, you heard Helen say, if we're not highlighting USA Australia, I'm going to have to throw myself out a window. So I think you should throw yourself out the window now, Helen.
Do you know what? It had such promise, didn't it?
It really did. It had such promise. And the irony is the GB Canada game didn't have too much promise, and it actually came out really well. But we're going to talk about all of these things.
So we have the knockout picture, and we have the bracket with Total Football Analysis, and we have prizes ready and raring to go. It'll probably go live before the episode goes out, potentially. We shall see. But there will be a bracket, and you will be able to start doing your predictions, which is like, I love this part of a tournament where you go, okay, right, what's the route to the final? Because it's only now that you've kind of got definite who you could meet sort of thing.
It's super fun. I already basically started writing out my own bracket because I was going through our predictions, Helen, which we'll get to at the end of this episode, to see what was actually possible anymore. And so I just started writing out my own bracket. So I'm really excited to fill this in on the Total Football Analysis website. Keep checking our socials. We will obviously tweet when it's up and live and send you directly to their website to fill it out. I'm going to fill it out. There's no rule that just because I helped create it means I can't win, right?
Well, I'm not being funny. It's not like you know the answer.
Exactly.
It's not like you've made the question. Or any of us could win, and I feel like it's going to be me.
Can you imagine, though, if like one of us won and then Total Football Analysis was like, guys, we're not giving you this prize. This is ridiculous.
I would be furious. I'd be like, I want to write to the organizers of this.
Helen crafts me a very serious email like, this is unfair. This is ridiculous.
I've been duped by the system.
So we're going to go through today's games. We're going to talk through a couple games, highlight a few, and then we're going to jump into next round fixtures, predictions, and then we're going to talk through our Golden Boot, Golden Glove, all of that. So let's do it. Today, Brazil beat Zambia 1-0, which fewer goals than expected, but I'm excited to talk more about that.
Netherlands 8-2 against China. I'm shocked, personally, but
I'm not that shocked.
You're not that shocked?
No.
Only from their showings at this tournament, but this tournament's already opened up quite a few shocks for me of things that I didn't think that China would be demolished. Put it that way.
Yeah, well, the Netherlands has proved that they can put away goals. They're going to let in goals, but they're going to put a lot away. Chile lost to Japan 1-0 in a tight one.
And then Canada versus GB was 1-1. Kind of as expected, I think, but we shall talk more about that in a moment.
We will definitely talk more about that. USA tied Australia 0-0 in a snooze fest. But we're also going to talk more about that.
Excuse me while I open my window. And finally, Sweden comfortably beat New Zealand 2-0. I feel like the score doesn't quite reflect how comfy it was for Magda and the gals.
So we said we'd come on to it. Let's just jump right into it. Let's talk Canada GB, because this was a really interesting game. It ended up 1-1. I personally thought the score was pretty reflective of how evenly matched these two teams were, but I want to throw it over to you, Helen. Team GB, how did you feel about the starting lineup? Did you feel like they were playing to win this game, or did they come for the tie/loss like you were previewing in the last episode?
My thinking on it really was, when I first saw it, I was really pleased with the lineup actually, because I really wanted them to make some changes. Like, number one, it's really good to give people minutes during a tournament and try and sort of have a bit of diversity in the squad. First really notable thing was the two centre-back choices, Millie Bright and Lee Williamson. So weird not seeing a lineup with Steph Horton in it, but I'm really pleased that they made that really decisive decision. And then really interesting concept, one that I hope they don't repeat in the next stages, but an interesting concept to put Millie and Leah together. Just because you've got in Leah Williamson, you've got a really controlled, agile player who really likes to have possession of the ball. And then you've got Millie, who I adore, and I think she's a battle axe, but I wouldn't want her as my last man standing in a football game. I'd be like, oh God, please don't do anything crazy. Like, just kick it out.
I mean, for that reason, I feel like I kind of love it because you want complementary center backs, and Millie Bright's going to win the balls in the air, and she's just going to get into tackles and like use her physical stature to her advantage. And Leah Williamson's just going to control the ball. She can possess out of the back. I feel like that's a good combination, but you don't want to see it in future games.
With Steph, I feel like you've got like a good middle ground of like, she's an absolute beast. She's also got like that free kick taking ability, which is really handy. But then on top of it all, she's always going to be the final player. Millie sometimes can get lost in the midfield and kind of go on runs and do a bit of crazy stuff. But I do love Millie Bright, and I love I love the way that she plays. Demi Stokes was another one where I'm like, but then I just can't get over Alex Greenwood not being there, because Alex Greenwood should be on the pitch today. Love seeing Sophie Ingle as captain. And then obviously the other big thing is Rachel Daly starting again. So obviously Hege Riise sees something in Rachel Daly that Phil maybe didn't see in her, playing a higher up the pitch. Love to see it. I thought she had a great game as well. I'm gutted because she had a real opportunity, Rachel Daly, to put one away, and she didn't.
This is going to make me sound stupid, but I didn't see the lineup. Where was Rachel Daly playing?
They played her kind of like in the midfield, but on that left-hand side.
She's so versatile. You know, as a fan of her at the number 9, the further up the pitch you move Rachel Daly, the happier I'm going to be. And I'm happy she's getting due credit for Team GB because she's such a stud in the NWSL. And I just want her star to shine as bright back home, you know?
You know how I always say things that are a bit out there?
No.
Other than like Rachel Daly, I think there's probably only one other person that has the ability to play in other positions on the pitch, and that's Crystal. Am I being too out there?
Crystal Dunn. I don't think it's too out there. I mean, I think Crystal Dunn's like leaps and bounds better than Rachel Daly, but when we're talking about versatility, you could literally put Crystal Dunn anywhere on the pitch. And I feel like the same with Rachel Daly. I mean, they're not going to do their best in the midfield, in the center midfield, but they'd still be able to hang and do really well. So I think that's a good comparison.
So obviously I love Canada as well, but looking at this GB squad, just kind of to give an overview of my initial thoughts when I saw it, I was kind of indifferent, and I've been a bit indifferent about this game all week. I wasn't like desperate to turn the TV on at 12 o'clock when it went live. I was like, I'll watch it, obviously. But I was like, yeah, cool. The lineup's fine. Whatever happens, we're through. Let's try and relax our way into this. And then on the other side, I felt like Canada came in with a little bit more momentum and a little bit more, gusto about them.
I loved how Canada showed up here. They basically showed up to compete, and they were like, we want this top spot. We want to advance first. Canada is not as deep a team as others in this tournament. You know, you look at like USA or the Netherlands or Sweden, but you look at them and they're not as deep, but they play really well together. They know what their style is. They know what their game plan is, and they come out and they compete and they execute, and they're just a really fun, cohesive team to watch. And I mean, I'm just going to say about this group, Helen, you touched on this last episode about like, this is why we love tournaments with group stages, that every team is kind of looking at the other groups and is like, are we doing well? Like, how are we doing in comparison? And I feel like at the end of the group stages, you could argue that teams in this group kind of have the biggest advantage because they've had arguably 3 competitive games, and 3 competitive games like get their feet under them and they're kind of like rolling, versus someone in like the USA's group where everybody kind of rolled over New Zealand, got destroyed by Sweden, and had 1 competitive game. And that's a really weird way to come into a knockout phase. So you could argue that teams coming out of this group might have the upper hand.
To play devil's advocate, there's been this real lack of consistency in that US group. Like, New Zealand did pull their finger out against Australia, and Australia were really missing in that game. But then Australia came into this game with the USA, and it was a different ball game. But we will come on to that in a minute. To kind of go back to, you're completely right. They've had 3 really competitive games. My one counter thing, my devil's advocate would be, in the GB group, these are 3-4 middling teams. So I don't feel like any of those teams have like truly been tested. And Canada and GB are like really equally matched teams now. And that's disconcerting for me as a GB fan, because you look across our squad and we've got arguably some of the world's best players in the squad. One of them, who finally came on in the final 20 minutes, Fran Kirby, who I think is undeniably world class. She changed the intensity of the game. We were 1-0 down at the time. I don't think we were deservedly 1-0 down. I think it was had a draw written all over it. But she got GB back into the game. And I text Sarah saying, why is Caroline Weir not English? Because she was just excellent. As always, Caroline Weir is consistency.com. She always is. But Fran Kirby for me was like the real game changer in that last 10-15 minutes. And deservedly 1-1 draw, bit of a non-event game in the end, but both of them showed their class. Both of them gone to the next round.
Caroline Weir, that goal was a stunner. And it was just like also a classic Caroline Weir goal where she had the ball, she took a couple touches, just hit a scorcher under pressure, and it just hit the back of the net on the far post, and it was beautiful. Fran Kirby, I mean, what do you do if you're the manager of Team GB? How do you get Fran Kirby on the pitch? Do you have to just keep using her as a sub, or who does she start for?
Well, I think the thing with Fran is she's obviously had a bit of a niggle in the past few weeks
A
in terms
niggle?
of like injury or something. You never heard that word before?
No.
A little
I mean,
gripe.
I know what you mean, but I've never heard that word before.
You know the word niggle? Yeah, so she's had a little bit of a strain, a bit of a gripe, a bit of a pull, a bit of a
I think we would say it's a bit of a, she's had a bit of a nagging injury.
nagging injury. But I think that she will start the next fixture. Maybe I should throw out my predicted 11 for the next round, which we believe will be against Australia. I'm thinking Ellie Roebuck in goal, obviously. Lucy Bronze, Leah Williamson, Steph Horton. I'd put Rachel Daly at left back.
Phil? Is that you, Phil?
Hello, Phil here. But I would. She was so brilliant there in that first game. I'd love to test that again. In the midfield, I'd have Caroline Weir, Fran Kirby in that number 10. I'd have Kim Little, 100%. Who's probably been the player of the tournament for us so far. Up front, I'd have Ellen White because she just loves scoring goals for her country.
She really does.
And then down those sides, probably Lauren Hemp, of course, starting with Nikita Paris on the other side.
It's a good starting lineup.
Oh my God, I'm putting that out there, guys. I'm just literally, my heart is pounding that I'm wrong. But I'm saying it anyway, I don't care.
I think it's a good starting lineup. I feel like if you were wrong, you would be wrong with Leah Williamson.
Yeah, potential that they'll put Millie Bright in just because those two are so used to playing together now, Millie and Steph, but we shall see.
But enough about Team GB.
Let's move on to your gals over in the US of A versus Australia. 0-0 draw. How are you feeling?
As a USA fan, I am extremely disappointed with what I am seeing, and I think it comes from Vlatko Andonovski. He has them playing such a defensive style, such a defensive mentality. Like, for the love of God, we played with two number 6s. We played with 2 number 6s. We never do that. That's such a defensive formation, and it's beyond just the formation. Like, it's the way they come into games. They came into this game wanting a draw, wanting the point. That is not U.S. women's national team soccer. And whoever was watching the broadcast here in this country, in the U.S., heard Julie Foudy talking about it. Julie Foudy, who played, obviously, in the 1999 amazing U.S. women's national team squad. She was even commenting on that. Like, that's not how this team is built. This team is built to go out and try to win every single game. And the fact that they're coming at this from like a timid, well, we don't want to let a lot of goals in, we're going to play a defensive formation, it's just so disappointing to me. I saw a headline that called it, quote unquote, an off-brand Olympics for them, and I couldn't phrase it better. Like, it's so off-brand and it's so disappointing to watch, and I can imagine that the players are a little frustrated that they're having to play this defensive mentality and defensive-oriented formation. Frankly, it's just no way to win a tournament in my mind, and it's not the U.S. women's national team way. So I'm really disappointed. I basically turned off the TV being like, that's one strike, Vlatko. Like, that's a big strike from me as a women's national team fan. I don't like the direction that this is headed in. I don't like how we're playing. I'll say one more thing, trying not to get into the nitty-gritties of it, but I mentioned that we're playing with 2 defensive center mids, 2 number 6s. I also just frankly don't understand some of the tactics he's implementing. He's playing with 2 number 6s and then pushing the number 10 up even higher than the forwards to defend, and that leaves a huge gap in the middle of the field that's just getting exploited. And I just really from a culture of the US women's national team and how they're built in a mentality standpoint, this is not it.
So, playing a devil's advocate, it could be going into the next round really positively, because this could be him going, scrap everything I've done. We've had a terrible group stage, but we're through anyway. We're going to go into this Netherlands game. We know how to beat them. # World Cup Final 2019. # Let's go. Do you feel like that could be, that this could be the dawning of a new US team under Vlatko, that he goes into that Netherlands game and they sort their shit out?
Totally. I mean, I was sitting on the couch thinking, we either get the Netherlands or we get Brazil. And I kind of am glad that we got the Netherlands. It's almost like hey, remember who you were in 2019? You beat them. We had a really strong friendly against them leading up to the World Cup. So I definitely think this, look, if anything's going to rock the US out of this, sleepy mentality and kick them into high gear to try to win this tournament, it's playing the Netherlands in the quarterfinals. And if we can get through them, it bodes well. And otherwise, we're going to see an early exit.
Flipping over to Australia, who will be meeting Team GB in the next round.
Ooh-wee.
I really felt like we texted each other towards the end. I felt so disappointed in Australia, because they go for the spot that the USA are in. Saying that, they've met Team GB, and I think you'd rather meet Team GB than the Netherlands, quite frankly. But in the last few minutes, I was so disappointed in, them trying to pass it across the back four and really not attempting anything. But I think they'll be satisfied with a 0-0 draw today. And I think they'll be satisfied going out of this group stages with 4 points. That's probably all they would have asked of themselves and all they needed in order to get out of the group. So it is what it is, really.
It's a good point. It's a really good point about Team GB versus the Netherlands. Australia might be sitting there like, haha, you got the Netherlands and we got Team GB. So,
oh my God, I've just realized maybe this whole thing was a subconscious thing by the USA. Like, let's meet GB by being shit today. And they were like, come on, Australia, we've left the door wide open for you, goddammit. Should we move on to Brazil versus Zambia, which was a really top fixture, actually, to be fair?
It really was. First of all, I just want to clamp it up for Zambia. Brazil beat Zambia 1-0. Zambia got a red card in the 14th minute.
Yeah, I think it was 14th minute.
They were playing down for 75 minutes of this game, and they only lost 1-0 to Brazil. Holy crap.
Yeah. I feel like that the one thing to come out of this tournament that is huge, that nobody ever would have expected, is Barbara Banda. And I knew you were going to probably bring her up at some point, so sorry that I jumped the gun. But really brilliant today. Again, 3 games, on the world stage. Surely that's her ticket to, top tier WSL, French, American football. Surely.
I truly hope so. A huge storyline out of this tournament is Zambia. What a showing. I really hope that we get to see them on the world stage more, and that they start to get more support from their federation so that we can see them on the world stage more. And yeah, Barbara Banda, I really want to see her more. I mean, I know she's playing her club soccer in China and maybe she's happy there, but I personally would love to see her come into the WSL or the NWSL and really start to compete. She's quoted by saying she wants to be the best in the world, so I really want her to come on over here and really start to blossom.
She would be epic for somewhere like Manchester United, who really need a hero right now, and I just feel like she'd be perfect in that setup. They've just lost Lauren James. I feel like this could be a really an understated but really powerful signing.
I think that's a really great idea, to be honest. Manchester United, Casey Stoney, I know you listen to this, so just call your old club, let them know.
Hey, Casey.
I know, yeah, it'll be all good. So that is our wrap for the group stages. We're going to go into a quick advertisement for our partners, Total Football Analysis, and when we come back out, we're going to talk previews of the next matches for the knockouts.
Yeah, I'm buzzing.
Have you checked out Total Football Analysis yet? TotalFootballAnalysis.com provides researched analysis on loads of football games, including women's football. Want to know why Miedemar scores so many goals? Do you want to explore how City have turned it around this season? Head over to totalfootballanalysis.com and sign up to learn more about the beautiful game. We have a special discount for listeners of the Women's Soccer Show. At checkout, type WOSO10 to get a full year for €10. That's €40 off the yearly subscription. Head over to totalfootballanalysis.com and type WOSO10 at checkout.
All right, so we are here. We have our picture, Helen. Shall we run through what the games are going to be? The next games are on Friday. It'll be the quarterfinals, first round of the knockout stages. Let's just quickly run through what these 4 matchups are.
Can I just interject really quickly? Do you know how long I spent working it out with a pencil and paper to then message you like, oh my God, this is the, and then you were like, yeah, I know, dude. Like, where have you been?
And Helen sent like a whole picture. Helen sent like a whole picture and was like, is this right? Is this right? And I was like, yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
dude. Like the proper people from the Olympics have already worked this out, and there's already a graphic out there. You freaking loser.
If it helps, I was sitting there with pen and paper also. I just think I did it a lot earlier than you did it.
I was like, oh, okay. So first fixture is Canada versus Brazil, 4 a.m. Eastern time, and that's 9 a.m. over here in the UK. So another perfect fixture time for moi.
Another terrible fixture time for moi. This is going to be super fun. These two played each other in the She Believes Cup. Brazil won 2-0, but it was such a fun game. Their two styles are so different, but they match up just in such a really interesting way, and I think this is going to be a really, really fun one.
I know that I'm curveballing your entire game plan for this tournament, but I really feel like Canada could win this. They've really built so well through the tournament so far, and I just really think they could. So I'm going to go with a solid but very confusing 2-1.
You say 2-1?
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I got so nervous there, but I'm going to say 2-1 Canada.
I'm going to go with a 3-2 Brazil. Next game, we have Team GB Australia. That's at 5 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. British summertime, standard time, British time.
the British time.
British time.
I feel like this is going to be a wicked fixture.
Totally agreed.
I don't think it's going to be easy for either team. I don't think it's going to be goal central. I think it'll be really, really touch and go. I do think GB will scrape through this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to GB.
Oof. I really like that prediction.
Does it go into extra time? Just sorry to like this.
You know what? I think that it might.
And then penalties.
I think at this point, legs are tired, and if it goes into extra time, it'll probably go into penalties. Just for the hell of it, because I really want my girl Sam Kerr to just have a rockin' tournament. I'm gonna go Australia 2-1.
Ouch!
I'm gonna go Australia 2-1.
So the next one is Sweden versus Japan, which is 6 a.m. Not as bad. 11 a.m. over here in the UK. Really looking forward to this one. I think Sweden will walk this 3-0.
I think it'll be comfortable as well. I'm going to go 4-0, actually. I think that they'll really take care of Japan. I think that this is a huge mismatch.
Yeah, Japan have been really poor, actually, this tournament. Like, the fact that GB were able to kind of dismantle them in the way they did, because it was a slow dismantle, but they did dismantle them, I think says quite a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to say a comfortable Sweden win.
Absolutely.
And then the one that I think we're all waiting for, well, I know that I'm waiting for, Netherlands versus the USA. Arguably the two best teams in the world. 7 a.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. kickoff over here in the UK. World Cup final rematch. What you saying, Sarah? You sticking with your country?
I have to. I can't turn on us. I can't turn on myself. I am part of this team. I can't turn on myself. Of course, I'm going to. I'm going USA.
Are you gonna cry? You okay?
I'm going USA, and actually, I'm going 2-1. I'm going 2-1. Score of the 2019 final was 2-0. I think it'll be 2-1 USA.
I think it's revenge time for the Netherlands. I think that they have gone through the group stages quite comfortably. When I say quite comfortably, I mean, I don't even know what their goal difference is, but it probably would make most people feel sick. Like,
I don't know. They've let in a lot of goals. I mean, yeah, they've scored a lot of goals. They scored 8 goals today, but they also are letting in a lot of goals.
I think it's going to be going to extra time. I'm not sure what the score is going to be, like something ridiculous, 3-3 in regular time. And then it's going to go to extra time. And I think that Netherlands are going to win it in extra time.
I actually think you're giving the U.S. a lot of credit to say that they can put away 3 goals against the Netherlands, seeing as they put away 0 goals against Australia. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, but the Netherlands literally are like, come on in, my friends. Would you like to ride your bicycle through to our goal mouth and score a few goals while you're there?
Go ahead, because we've got Miedema and she'll score 3 just by herself.
Miedema's at the other end. You kind of forget about her because you're at this end, but she's over there and she's willing to cause havoc.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to say Netherlands do it in extra time, 1-0 in extra time. Why not? I've made really crazy predictions. Let's move on to our other predictions recap because I am thoroughly enjoying this.
What a lovely segue, Helen, talking about Miedema, going into our other predictions that we've had ongoing for this entire tournament. Golden Boot, Helen has Miedema. Miedema is now at 8 goals total. She added 2 today.
8 goals in 3 games is disgusting.
It's unbelievable. I haven't checked the standings, but I'm pretty sure that puts her at the top of the list. Like, I'm pretty sure she's at the front.
With Banda maybe second, but obviously they're out now.
Banda's got 6. Yeah, the only other competition would be Sam Kerr, who's got 5, I believe.
Yeah, and then I think we got Ellen White's probably in the mix somewhere. But yeah, Miedema's having a disgustingly good tournament so far. It is pretty funny, actually, when you think about it. 8 goals in 3 games is just a ridiculous ratio.
It's absolutely absurd.
You never stood a chance.
I never stood a chance. I went for a dark horse here. I went for Iwabuchi of Japan. Japan was scoring a lot of goals in the lead up to this tournament, and that just kind of halted. So Iwabuchi had 1 in her first game, and that's pretty much all she wrote since then. So I'm still sitting pretty at 1 for a Golden Boot.
It's all good.
It's all good. All, you know.
You better hope that they pull their finger out in the next round so they stay in the tournament, mate. You better
You know,
hope.
if they don't, I still feel confident in my other 2 predictions. So our next one, we're moving into Golden Glove. Helen, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so it's really tight, actually. I am Hedvig Lindarling, and I kind of only did it really because I really like Hedvig. And Lindarling, and she has conceded 2 goals. She conceded none today.
Yeah, it worked out really well for you. I've got Barbara of Brazil. She has conceded 3 goals total, but 0 today. So we're in a tight one right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final.
All of our teams are still in it. So the final 2, I went with Sweden versus Netherlands. And you went with Brazil versus USA.
I went for Brazil versus USA. And I'm so excited for this because we went 2 different ways when we were trying to figure out, you know, when we were making our predictions for the gold medal game. I went the route of, okay, like, let's work out this entire tournament. Who's going to advance first? Who's going to advance second? Who does that mean? Who can play who? And I worked out that I would have Brazil and the U.S. in the final. Helen just went with, who do I think are the best teams? I'm going to go with the Netherlands and Sweden. So
typical me.
The irony of this, Helen, is that now because Sweden advanced first, your pick of Sweden, the Netherlands, can actually happen. Like, if they if they both make it, if they both win all of their games until the final, they will beat each other in the final. And my selection's impossible. If these 2 teams meet, it's going to be in the semifinals. It'll be that they both win this next game on Friday and then they meet in the semifinals. So
oh my God, that literally is the best news I've heard all day.
Helen,
thank you. I never win this shit, so I am buzzing.
Helen's like 0 thought into it, ends up working out, and like this is a massively strong prediction for what could happen. Like, you look at both sides of the bracket, and those are arguably 2 of the strongest teams in the tournament right now.
Can I just say what a final Sweden Netherlands would be?
Yeah.
Both of them love scoring goals.
I will also say, though, that this also means there's a chance for a Sweden-USA rematch in the final. Because the USA and the Netherlands play in the next round, and whoever wins that comes out of it on that side of the bracket. So there's a chance for a USA-Sweden final, which would also be epic. I had to just, obviously plug that as a USA fan.
Oh my God. Okay. It's all so exciting. I just really, really can't wait. So on Friday, we will be recording again for hopefully a weekend release, Saturday or Sunday. We look forward to you guys feeding back. Let us know what you'd like to hear in these episodes in the coming days, and we will speak to you all very soon. I've been Helen.
I've been Sarah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.